$132,937. That is what the first owner lost in the first 5 years of ownership. And be scared, because we are just getting started. The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
So the saying goes, which applies not only to mythical creatures, companies, dynasties, Marvel show ratings, and as it turns out, luxury SUVs.
Yes, those mansions on wheels might make you feel like the king of the highway, but there is a 99.97% chance that somebody took a gigantic financial hit the moment that they drove away from the dealership.
And then many more financial hits as the mileage went up and the reliability goes down. Because, as we all know, the rigs themselves get cheaper, but just about every other cost does not.
From insurance and fuel to maintenance and tax, you better be prepared to dig deep. And not just like Kanye, be a gold digger.
So, while each of the following vehicles could be tempting for those wanting to join the luxury SUV party, C-list celebrities included, just remember they are dangerously cheap for a reason.
I mean, even if the depreciation element already has been taken care of by another customer, it's still tempting? Or do you simply want to avoid these monstrosities that depreciate faster than a stock market crash? Well, here are the 7 worst offenders, all of which have lost at least half of their original value in just 5 years. This first one losing over $100,000 in the first few years of ownership. This is the idealist, so buckle up and let's go. Okay, so you want a house-sized level of depreciation on wheels? Well, meet my friend, Mr. Bentley Bentayga, a magnificently fast and stately luxury SUV from the land of cream teas and roast dinners.
Cheers, Mike. This really is a luxury SUV that has absolutely no right being as fun and capable as it is. Seriously, there are smaller and lighter sports cars out there that handle worse.
And if you want to feel like you own an oil company, this is the one to own. I mean, expect to pay around $250,000 new for the privilege. And honestly, there is so much luxury and poshness crammed into one area that the Bentayga should come with a gold crown.
Then again, tick all the optional extra boxes at new and it might feel like you're purchasing Buckingham Palace, especially that $100,000 dashboard clock.
I mean, it brings a whole new meaning to the expression, time is money.
So yeah, a great luxury SUV, but should anything go wrong, and it will, you better hope you have access to the DuckTales tower filled with gold.
Of course, it's always better to cry in a Bentley, even if it's being repossessed at the time. And cry you will when you realize that Bentayga loses over $130,000 in the first 5 years. Porsche knows how to make fast vehicles, and that famous German engineering wisdom seeps over into the Porsche Cayenne.
It is fast, sticks to the road far better than a car this large should, and has all the mod cons to keep you comfortable as you blast down the road.
Of course, that's exactly what the previous owner was told.
And they probably paid $80,000 for one that, after 5 years, is worth around $45,000 less.
Was losing the deposit on a home really worth the excellent handling? You decide. Ignoring the thirsty engine and the sizable fuel bills, the sizable repair bills, and the sizable parts bill, if you decide to show the kids it can do wheel spins, it can off-road better than a kitted Jeep, and something falls off, you'll still probably have a lot of fun,
even if it is a terrible investment from day one.
Next, we have an SUV that may not be as divisive as a tweet from Elon Musk.
Man, is it fast. I am talking about the road rocket known as the Tesla Model X.
The vehicle you bought to save the Amazon rainforest with blistering acceleration, doors at home and back to the future, not a drop of gas or diesel in sight.
That sounds amazing, and it is. Mostly.
Oh boy.
Even the handling is above par.
The issue is that anybody with eyes can see that it's a Tesla Model S that's been overly inflated.
And then there's that teensy-weensy issue of the big lithium-ion battery dying in years to come. Yeah, some Teslas have hit crazy high mileage, 1,000,000 miles plus in some cases, apparently, but the alternative is a repair bill costing tens of thousands, essentially totaling the vehicle.
Should that happen, you'll have a very expensive paperweight. That looks like an inflated Model S. Even if not, expect about half of the value to vanish in the first 5 years. True pain when you consider it costs upwards of $125,000 in the first place and will lose around $53,000 in value over just 5 years.
To be fair, recent fuel prices caused by recent world events have helped improve the situation for electric cars in general, as you can see with the upward trend in prices since early 2001.
Just be mindful and make sure that those tears don't touch that lovely touchscreen display or home to Spotify, web browser, video games, and even the brains to let it drive on highways, autopilot style. Well, mostly. They are ludicrously quick, and in the event that autopilot goes wrong, they're super safe. And they can have up to 7 seats when you finally make a few friends. I'll be one, because nothing says eco-conscious when there's 7 people traveling in a Tesla.
Speaking of nonsensical decisions, my next money-eating monster is from the M division at BMW. Yes, that visual monstrosity on screen right now is the BMW X6M, rated M for mature.
A crossover SUV thing from Germany that goes fast as hell. Like, see you later 99% of the cars on the road fast.
Those who have driven this totally confused machine will agree that it handles rather well too. For an SUV, to be fair, that's partly down to its crossoverness, which gimps the practicality. Therefore, it's in my opinion not only ugly, but there's also much less space for people and things.
You know, one of the major selling points of an SUV, which begs the question, why not buy an M sports car or M Estate instead? If only BMW would have given us Americans the M5 wagon. BMW, you missed. Swing and a miss. Strikeout. Heck, blown game. Okay, so fewer seats means less of your friends and family will get to experience just how good it is in corners and at the drag strip.
But on the plus side, it means that fewer people will be there when you inevitably break down and it costs you a small fortune to fix. A small fortune on top of the fact that it probably costs you around $113,000 new, and half a decade later, has lost nearly $60,000 in value.
So, does the M stand for madness? You betcha. Toodle pip and all that, we come to our next luxury SUV depreciator. It is good enough for British royalty and movie villains, henchmen, in chase scenes. It is good enough for you and me. And to be fair, you get a rig that eats the miles effortlessly, in style and at speed.
Honestly, modern-day Land Rovers may be far removed from their farming roots and usually never set foot on anything but pristine tarmac. But their ability to waft along in comfort is basically as good as it gets.
It's just that things can and, based on a hell of a lot of customer feedback, will go wrong.
At this point, you better sacrifice a few goats and pray to the car gods your bill is not crippling. Or marry a prince, princess, or a James Bond villain.
To be fair, yes, it could be worse. You could have been that crazy person who willingly lost $60,000 plus off the recommended retail price just 5 years later.
From riches to rags, then.
Opposite of what we want. Next in our big luxury SUV depreciators list, a monstrosity that is as big as it is ugly.
The kind of look that no amount of Hollywood plastic surgery could make into something even a mother could love.
And I suspect no self-respecting mother with eyes really wants a posh Nissan in the driveway.
In fairness, SUVs are meant to be practical, and the sheer size of this Japanese cruise ship means you could probably fit a small town in the back and still have room for a Boeing 747 and a dog cage. And SUVs that are huge and can kind of handle well are even rarer. It may not even break down constantly thanks to its Nissan heritage.
No, the problem is that it is about as desirable as too much lip filler, and therefore its value pops like a stock market crash. Fortunately for you, over half of the $77,000 average list price is gone in 5 years, meaning those who care little about looking cool can get a lot of SUV for little money. Which it is cool, this next one made the list. Slightly smaller but smarter is the Volvo XC90. the next depreciating asset on the list.
Courtesy of the Swedes.
The people from Sweden, not the garden vegetable.
This is the largest SUV in its range and well renowned for its high build quality, efficiency, and refinement.
It can also be equipped with 7 seats for those on the inside and everyone on the outside who get to look at the pleasant European exterior. And don't even get me started on the various neat design touches. Who wouldn't want a mini Swedish flag on the seats, right? Right?
Okay, so by American standards, the XC90 is a pretty small luxury SUV. But thoughtful design work means that it can still carry more flat-packed furniture than it really needs to, or up to 7 people, all while sipping on less fuel than most alternatives on this list.
Unfortunately, no amount of savvy Swedish design can protect it from the icy winters of depreciation math, which tells me that you will have lost around $30,000 over 5 years. And that's quite a lot when you consider the average price in the first place is comfortably under $70K. But just 5 years later, you're looking at roughly half that amount. And on that note, it's time to draw the curtains on our window into the worst luxury SUVs when it comes to depreciation. And since it's the ideal list, what is the least ideal? Well, it's gotta go to the Bentayga. As cool as the Bentley might be, it's not worth the price of admission. Just like a Bieber concert. So let us know your least favorites down in the comments. Go check out some of our other Ideal content up here. And hey, I'm Brad, this is Ideal. Subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and promise me one thing, keep living the Ideal lifestyle.